tonight. So watch me bring the fire, set the night light. Shoes on, get up in the mood, cup of milk, let's rock and roll. Kink out, kick the drum, rolling on like a rolling stone.
Hi, my name is Amni, and I will tell you the definition of safety, accident, hazard, and risk. Safety is the condition of being protected from or unlikely to cause danger, risk, or injury. We can say that safety is the state of being safe, which is the condition of being protected against physical, social, spiritual, financial, political, emotional, and many more. Accident is an unfortunate incident that happens unexpectedly and unintentionally, typically resulting in damage or injury. Hazard means a source or a situation with a potential for harm in terms of human injury or ill health, damage to property, damage to the environment, or a combination of the accident. And the last one is risk. Risk is the chance or probability that a person will be harmed or experience an adverse health effect if exposed to a hazard. Next is hazard symbol. First symbol is acute toxic. Toxic is chemicals that at low and very low level that cause damage to health. The symbol is a skull and crossbone. The meaning for the symbol is it is fatal if swallowed, fatal in contact with skin, fatal if inhaled, toxic if swallowed, toxic in contact with skin, and toxic if inhaled. Second symbol is health hazard. It also known to mean long-term health hazard. The symbol shows a person with damage. The meaning of the symbol is it may be fatal if swallowed and enter airways. It may cause damage to organ, suspected of causing cancer, and suspected of causing genetic defects. Third symbol is flammable. The meaning of the symbol is it is extremely flammable gas, extremely flammable aerosol, and highly flammable liquid and vapor. Next symbol is exclamation mark, also known to mean caution. The meanings of the symbol is it may cause respiratory irritation, may cause drowsiness or dizziness, and may cause an allergic skin reaction. Next symbol is flame over circle or oxidizing. Oxidizing is a classification for chemical and preparations that react exothermically with other chemicals. It may cause or intensify fire and may cause fire or explosion. Next symbol is gas cylinder, also mean as gas under pressure. The symbol is a gas cylinder. The, the meaning of the symbol is it contains gas under pressure. It may explode if heated and contains refrigerated gas, may cause cryogenic burns or injury. Next symbol is environmental hazard. It means that it is dangerous for the environment. The meaning for the symbol is it is very toxic to aquatic life with long-lasting effect, usually found on pesticide, biocide, petrol, and turpentine. And the last symbol is corrosion. It means that chemicals that may destroy living tissue on contact. Meaning of the symbol is it may be corrosive to metals, usually severe skin burns and eye damage, and it is usually found on drain cleaners, acetic acid, hydrochloric acid, and ammonia. Next is incident and causes. Incidents are defined as unexpected event that may result in property damage but does not result in injury or illness. Incidents are also called near miss. Near miss is an event which did not result in injury or damage to property but had the potential to do so. There are three causes of incident. First is basic causes, second is indirect causes, and the last one is direct causes. Basic causes is usually caused by the poor management, safety policy and decision, personal factors, and environmental factors. Indirect causes is by unsafe act and unsafe condition, and the last one is direct causes is usually caused by an unplanned release of energy or hazardous material. Example of unsafe act. First, hazardous movement. Example for hazardous movement is running and jumping. Second, hazardous method of handling, which is failure to allow for sharp or slippery objects and pinch point, wrong lifting and loose grip. The last one is protective equipment or guard provided but not used. Next is the example of unsafe condition. Example of unsafe condition includes ineffective safety device, hazardous housekeeping, which is there are materials on floor or poor piling, and the last one is improper dress or apparel for the job. So the photo here show the example of unsafe condition, unsafe act, near miss, and accident.
Hello there. Good day, everyone. My name is Nur Hazika binti Abdurrahman, and I'm going to be explaining about my part, which is accident causation theories. So, in the subtopic, we have 7 types of accident causation theories, which are domino theory, human factors, accident or incident, epidemiology, multiple causation theory, combination, and lastly, we have behavioral. The first one is domino theory. This theory was developed by Herbert W. Henrich in the late 1920s. It claims that 88% of accidents were caused by unsafe acts committed by people, 10% by unsafe conditions, and the other 2% were unavoidable and says that it was the act of God. Henrich presented domino theory as the sequence to a row of dominoes knocking each other down. If we take a look at the diagram, we can see how the domino reaction occurs. When we push the first domino, it will fall into one another and cause domino reaction. From social environment, it will lead to the fault of a person, to unsafe act, to the accident, and lastly, it will cause injury. Next, when we look at the sequence of domino reaction, we can see that we could prevent or stop the accident from happening by taking out the one domino that we can control, which is unsafe act or condition. A better view can be seen by the diagram. When we take out the central factor or that one domino, it will make the action of preceding factors ineffective. The second theory is human factor theory. It was stated that accident that happen is due to a chain of events ultimately caused by human error. The 3 main human error or factors are consist of, first one is overload, which were caused by environmental factors such as distraction or noises, internal factors, for example stress or personal problems, and unclear instruction. The second factor is inappropriate response by turning a blind eye. Turn a blind eye means when we see that something is clearly off or it is not safe, but we decided to ignore them. For example, when we detect a hazard but didn't correct it, or just ignoring safety warnings. And second one is removing safeguard. The third factor is inappropriate activities. For example, performing tasks without required training and misjudging the risk in a given task. The third theory is accident or incidents. The theory was developed by Dan Peterson and it is an extension from the previous theory, which is human factor theory. It was said that the unsafe behavior is a result of overload, for example fatigue or pressure, ergonomic traps like unsuitable workstation and expectation, or a decision to err. Err means to make a mistake by misjudging the risk. Peterson's theory also established management's role in accident prevention by ensuring the employees receive safety training, make sure that the employees obey the safety procedures, for example, by wearing protective gears, and management needs to make sure to provide a clean and healthy environment. Next, epidemiology theory. This theory can be used to study of the relationship between environmental factors and accident. This theory was developed as a direct result of the relationship between diseases and environmental factors. The key components for this theory are predisposition characters, which means tendencies that may bring workers to certain actions, and situational characteristics, for example, peer pressure, poor attitude, and risk-taking. We may not fully understand the components, right? What are the predisposition and what are the situational character? So let's take a look at the example given. Ben is the new employee in a loading unit at a construction site. He had been to training sessions, learned the right techniques to lift heavy products, and learned the importance of wearing back support belt. While working, his supervisor and other employees pressured him to work fast and ignore the proper techniques. 2 months later, Ben needed to undergo a major surgery to repair his two ruptured discs. From this example, we can say that the predisposition factor is his vulnerability to the pressure that his co-workers and supervisor give, and the situational factor is the peer pressure and priorities to his supervisor. The fifth theory is multiple causation theory. This theory implies that an accident may be caused by a combination of multiple contributory factors. The factors are behavioral and environmental. For behavioral factors, it consists of attitude, skills, intellect, physical, and mental condition. For environmental factors, it concludes machinery, precautionary and safety measures, and existence of hazardous conditions. The next theory is combination theory. It was said that accident causes cannot be exactly explained by one model. This theory claims that the real cause on an accident may be a combination of different parts of the rest of the models. For example, an accident was caused by a combination of a worker's decision to overlook a potential hazard, performances of an unsafe act, and inappropriate response to an overload. The last one is behavioral theory. This theory suggests that some people have inherent traits that increases the probability to be involved in accidents. These people are usually the risk takers and on average take more chances than the others. Health and safety decision makers view these issues positively by arguing that behavior can be altered, meaning that we might can control the employee's behavior at least at the worksite. If compared from the rest, this theory is more specific on the cause of unsafe behavior. Therefore, prediction and prevention can be more likely to be achieved.
Hi, I am Aizatul Aliana binti Asman. I will continue with the principle of incident prevention. There is no way to completely eliminate accidents, but there are certain plans, preparation, and action that can be taken to reduce them through accident prevention. Accident prevention is all about good management. Top management must lead the workers to fully cooperate. Next, they also must have an OSH policy and organization to implement policy. Lastly, best available information and technology must be applied. There are three reasons to prevent accidents, which are legal, human rights, and business. Now, I will tell you about accident prevention in the workplace. Before that, we need to know that the hazards that always happen, such as slip, muscle strain, being hit by falling object, and inhaling toxic fumes. Next, here is the ways to prevent accident from happen. First, wearing personal protective equipment or PPE. Second, educate the employers and management staff. Third, create a safer area. Fourth, put a signboard on to prevent any future accident. Lastly, learn basic in lifting technique properly. That's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Shafinas. I'm going to present my part which is 1.5 Safety and Health Policy Statement. A policy statement indicates the degree of an employer's commitment to health and safety. To be effective, a policy must involve senior management and representative in the preparation of the policy. It must be consistent with the workplace objective of operating in an efficient and predictable manner. It must be relevant and appropriate to the nature, scale, and OHS hazards and risks associated with the workplace needs. It also has been accepted as equal in importance to the workplace other policy objective. Okay, for the guidelines writing policy, firstly, you should identify the objective of policy. You also has to determine the type of accidents and steps to protect the employees that should be taken by company before you draft the specific provision for safety policy. Secondly, you also can use specific and actionable statements in policy. Furthermore, you also should make each provision of your safety policy as actionable and use the specific sample of types of safety actions that the worker should take. Okay, for the statement of intent, firstly, you should arrange what is the general aims and goal. Secondly, you should determine how the company plans to manage health and safety. Lastly, you have to use clear and simple language that can be broken down into bullet points. For the responsibility for health and safety, firstly, you should determine the person who is responsible for health and safety. Next, you have to recognize the distinct roles of health and safety. And lastly, you should make an organizational chart, which is it shows the responsibility of each person, their positions, and their roles in the company. Okay, for the risk and step manage the problem, the risk require its heading, detail of the risk, ways to manage the risk either to reduce or eliminate it, and determine the person who is responsible to ensure those required are met. Other than that, the type of risk also depend on business, but it must include electrical testing, operating machinery, first aid, alcohol and drug policy, control of substance, hazardous to health policy, and welfare procedure. In additional requirement, it must undertake to support health and safety policy. Next, the things like staff health and safety, also training, high visibility. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hi, I am Aisha binti Hazli and I am going to be presenting about the steps in implementation safety and health policy. Or in Malay, we could say cara untuk mengaplikasikan kesihatan dan keselamatan strategi di tempat kerja kita. So as you can see in the slide, firstly, the employer must consult all the employees on health and safety. So let's say if you are in a school, the employer could be from the Department of Health and Safety to educate teachers before educating students, or it could be the teachers and staff themselves. As an employer, you have to consult with all your employees on health and safety. This doesn't need to be complicated. You can do this by simply listening and talking to them about health and safety and the work that they do, how risks are controlled, and the best way of providing information and training. Consultation is a two-way process. It allows staff to raise concerns and influence decisions on the management of health and safety. Your employees are often the best people to understand the risk in the workplace. Involving them in making decisions shows them that you take their health and safety seriously too. Second, they might consult the employees directly or alternatively. Alternatively meaning that this can be someone who has been chosen by their colleagues, but for sure, as an employer, you cannot decide who will be the representative. Next, some of the ways that employer can bring the policy statement to the employee's attention are by including it in any employee handbooks, providing it at induction. For information, induction means introducing a new employee to the company culture, and then including a copy with the contract of employment, posting it on your intranet sites, posting it on notice boards, and lastly, making the duties in the policy part of your employee's workplace objectives. In my thoughts, I think by doing all of this, we can make sure that all the employees stay concerned and focused on one of the most important things to take care in your workplace. I think that is all from me. Thank you for listening.